Shimi Akasha Yisrael Boka told. Praise Yahweh. I feel like my purpose on this journey has definitely called me to really help point out the information that everyone seems to lack, because there's only the same videos of Abba recycling on YouTube. And the understanding I have, I feel like I'm able to see and hear the things that a lot of people are not able to hear and see. So I'm able to web all the different videos that's on there together when I do like explanations and stuff. For instance, like when I explained the seventh day, right? I showed videos of Abba speaking because it seemed like people don't hear every video. Like they watch the same ones on Recycle. And then I showed the definitions, or even like when he says we are going home back to our land, people only hear, oh, America's our new land and all of that stuff. And it's like, y'all don't understand that is temporary. That's a temporary abode. It's like our tents of booths. We don't live in tents every day. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm going to start recording the videos from the DVDs that I have. And of course, as I acquire more, I'll put them up so that you can become more well-rounded. You know, I feel like, I'm not really trying to build a following to myself. I'm not the Messiah. I'm a Hebrew. I want to be a teacher. I want to help push the message of our King. I don't want to try to take our King's position. That's stupid. I'm not crazy. There's one mighty king of Israel, and then there's a lot of little kings of Israel, right? And I don't ever want to try to sit in Yahweh ben Yahweh's seat. That is his seat. So that's why a lot of my classes, when I'm breaking down the scriptures, it's just me just trying to help people understand what they're looking at. But never get it twisted. I'm always about the Messiah every day, all day. Because without Yahweh ben Yahweh, none of this is even possible. We don't exist. Because Yahweh ben Yahweh is the physical operation of Yahweh, right? So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoy this video. I love you, family, and I'll see you in the next one. Praise Yahweh.
Feast of Weeks is about our land, having our own land, dwelling in our own land, separating ourselves from this land, returning to our own land. The nations of the earth cannot be blessed until we return to our own land. There's no blessing for them until we come home. The earth is going to be full of my knowledge. Don't worry about will I be known. Let's see how much of the earth is going to know me. The earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord Yahweh, as the waters cover the sea. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 9. this week, find me the scripture which Yahweh told Abraham to separate himself from his family, and he would give him a land, all that he said. Genesis 13, verse 14 and 15.
And the Lord Yahweh said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever.
Who is the seed of Abraham? Yeah. Land. Notice, in an earlier scripture, Abraham left home. Genesis 12:1, read.
Now, the Lord Yahweh had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee.
See, there's something important here. What is it? Land. First thing that Yahweh required him to do was separate himself. Separate yourself. You separate yourself. Separate yourself from your country, from your kinfolk, and from your father's house, and from your father's house. Get to a land. The same thing that Yahweh promised us through Abraham, and the same thing that was required of Abraham is required of us. The same thing. Not almost the same thing, but the same thing. We must separate ourselves from our kin people who don't like Yahweh. I didn't say you have to dislike them. I said we must separate ourselves from them. That means since they don't like Yahweh, they practice different habits from us. They have different beliefs from us. They eat different from us. They cook unclean things in their pots. And in order for us to keep Yahweh's laws and not have to fight with them and try to make them change, notice Yahweh did not require Abraham's family to change. Neither should we as Hebrew Israelites try to make our people change. Don't go home after you become a Hebrew Israelite and try to change your mama. Your mama will try to change you, but don't you try to change your mama. Yes, how many of us had mama try to change us back to the way she was used to us being? There you go. Your kinfolk will try to change you back. But Yahweh didn't force them to change. He chose Abraham as he chose us. Who was with the seed of Abraham. Yahweh chose us. And Yahweh is not forcing our kin people and our friends and relatives to change. He chose us to change. So don't try to put your kinfolk out of their house. You get out. How many understand the mystery tonight? Don't go and try to throw out all your relatives' pork. You just throw out your own pork. You get out. So Abraham had to get out of three places. He had to get out of his kindred house, get away from them. He just said, get away from them, period. Get away from your kinfolk altogether. Because they don't believe as you believe, and you'll never change them. You offer them the word, and many of us have offered them the word, and they've read it 10 times, 20 times, and they refuse to change. You keep trying and trying and trying, and your heart grieves as you try to change them, but they remain the same. They read lesson 1 and 2 like you read lesson 1 and 2. Sometimes they read lesson 1 and 2 first, but they threw it in the trash can, or they threw it down, or they put it in the drawer, or they laid it around. When you try to talk to them about it, they don't care to talk about it. They rather talk about a whole lot of nothing. Have you ever noticed our dead relatives? They don't have an intelligent conversation. It is strictly a dead conversation. They like to talk about who died. They like to talk about who's sick. They like to talk about how sick they are. They like to talk about they believe they're going to die soon. What hurts and what aches and what's wrong with everybody. And they start gossiping about everybody. Do you know so-and-so? How many know what I'm talking about? That's the way the kinfolk are. That's the way the kindred are. So Yahweh told Abraham, don't try to make your kinfolk be like you. I'm choosing you out from among your kinfolk. So if somebody followed Abraham away, it was Lot and all his family, all their servants. But Yahweh called Abraham. Your kindred is practicing many gods, other gods, false gods. That's what was going on in Abraham's day. And I guarantee you that your kinfolk are following strange gods. You can tell them Yahweh is God. And they'll say, yeah. Some will go so far as to say, you're right. That's his name. But I'm not giving up my church. I've had them say, you're right. We are all Hebrew Israelites. I saw it in the dictionary. Yeah, I saw it. Yahweh is his name, all right. I agree. I agree with you. But I'm too old to change now. I've been traveling this road too long. Set in my ways. I know it, but I just can't change now. Anybody heard that? So that's the way Abraham's kin people were. So Yahweh could have changed them, but he didn't change them. He said, come on out from your kinfolk, Abraham. Because they are heathen. They believe in practicing what the heathens practice. They believe in birth control, infanticide. See, they were practicing that then, killing babies. In his day, they had gods made out of wood and stone in his day. Then he said, Abraham, get out your father's house. Your mama, you have to give up your mama and your daddy to follow Yahweh. Some of us find it hard, but you have to give them up. That's what the scripture tells us. He who does not forsake his mother and father, sister, brother, husband, wife, and children for me is not worthy of me. See, that came from this verse. That's why I can teach that scripture in the New Testament, because it's verified in Genesis 12:1. He said, Abraham, if you're not willing to leave your mother and father, I can't use you. I can't bless you. I will not bless you unless you leave them. You have to choose me. So make your choice, Abraham. Your kindred, your father's house, or me. Then he said, Abraham, I know it's comfortable in the country you live in. I know it's comfortable to you. You grew up there. You thought this was home. But I have a new home prepared for you. I'm going to give you a land for you and your seed forever. Abraham said, where is it, Yahweh? He said, don't worry about it. Your first test is leave. Test number one is trust me with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. The fear of me is the beginning of your knowledge. Yahweh said, don't worry about where you're going. My name, just my name is a strong tower. You be righteous and you can run into it and you will be safe. Abraham said, yes, Yahweh. All right, Yahweh. And I read that he obeyed. He did what Yahweh told him to do. We Hebrew Israelites today in America, we have found America comfortable because we didn't know any other country. After 428 years, we have not known any other country. We thought this was it. But at least we're better off than Abraham. Because we now know where home is. We know the land that we're going to, but Abraham didn't know where he was going. So it took a little more faith on Abraham's part than it takes on ours. We would really be in a stiff strut if I was telling you, let's go to a land, and I couldn't tell you where it was. You talk about taking some faith. Yahweh said, no, I'm not going to test my children after 428 years with that proposition. By the time they spend 400 years, I will have already given them a land, see. Then he went on over and said, know of a surety, Abraham, that your seed, though I'm going to give you a land, still your seed, the one that this is promised to, is going to be a stranger in a strange land that is not theirs, and they're going to be treated evil 400 long years. But after they have served these people, white people, I'm going to judge the land, and I'm going to separate you from them, your seed from the enemy. And then after that, I'm going to bring them out with great substance. But the primary thing, in order to have a feast of weeks, is you got to have some land. Land. See, Yahweh laid it down to us here. Land, 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 land. When you own your own land, then nobody can come and tax you off of it. See, in America, in another man's land, you can buy the land, he says, but he turns around and charges you taxes. And you say, I bought the land, I don't want to have to pay taxes. Then he'll bring his army and take it from you in the name of delinquent taxes. So you never own land in your enemy's country. But in our own land, we won't have that problem. Have you ever figured out that it costs more to grow oranges today than it did 20 years ago? Right? It costs more to grow oranges today than it did 25 years ago, right? No, it isn't. You're wrong. It doesn't cost any more to grow orange today than it did in the beginning. You own your own land, and the orange tree is on the land. Yahweh makes it grow oranges every year. It doesn't cost you anything. What do you mean it costs more to grow? See, you're still there. Somebody, yes, it does. No, it doesn't. I disagree with you. I do not agree with you at all. But it does cost more to grow a cow today than it did 25 years ago, right? You're not going for that quick, huh? You may not be able to explain it, but you're not going for that, are you? See, the white man is charging you $2, $3, $4, $99 a pound for beef. And they used to charge you 50 cents a pound for it. And he tells you the cost of raising cattle has gone up. He's a liar. My Bible tells me that grass is for the cattle. And I see grass grow free. You don't even have to plant the stuff. So when we own our own land, we let the grass grow, on our hills, and then we put our cattle on the 1,000 hills, and we just let them graze. Yahweh makes it rain, he lets the sun shine, and the wind blow, and the grass grow, and the cows eat, and they give milk, and take care of their calves, and we have milk and butter, and shoes, and leather pocketbooks, leather coat. Huh? Costs no more today than it ever did. But this old greedy dog devil, see, he has taken our cattle. And since he has our cattle, then he comes up with tricks to scheme us out of our money because we love to eat. But you see this fruit here on the table? It's the fruit of the harvest. This is the benefit of owning your own land. When we own the land, this comes to us free, plus labor. Plus labor, we get the energy from the fruits and vegetables, which grow free. That's how we get our energy to go pick it, to bring it home and prepare it and preserve it and can it and have some for our time. Isn't it beautiful? Sad thing is, it comes out of our enemy's land. Our enemy's land. So we pay whatever the devil charges. If we want to eat it, we have to pay it. So we glorified Yahweh and praised Yahweh and thanked Yahweh every year during the fruit of harvest, the Feast of Weeks, saying to Yahweh, thank you, Father, for our land forever. Oh, Yahweh, we bless you, and we bless your holy and righteous name forever. And we thank you for our land, Israel, forever, Yahweh, because you blessed us with a bountiful harvest freely from you. And our access, we sell to other nations, and you make us rich, because we grow the best fruits and vegetables on the planet Earth, because you gave us the best land on the planet Earth. That's what the Feast of Weeks is all about. So we cannot truly celebrate the Feast of Weeks in a strange land that's not our own. So I'm thirsty to go home. I'm tired of being robbed of my few pennies for food that my Father gives in abundance freely. I'm tired of having to live in a ghetto instead of a mansion. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I know you don't think I'm talking from the Bible, but everything I'm saying is in the book. Just believe me, it's in there. I'm just in a hurry right now. I want us to get on down and celebrate. But at least we're reading from Genesis 12 and 1. That's the background. And now you know why Yahweh gave Abraham a land. Then after we have a land of all, see, verse 1 lays it down first. First, we have to separate ourselves from our enemies. Secondly, we have to give up our kinfolk and leave our father's and mother's house because they're practicing the ways of the heathen. And we have to separate ourselves and become holy unto Yahweh as he is holy. And be perfect as our Father Yahweh in heaven is perfect. And walk before Yahweh and be perfect as Abraham was required to walk before him and be perfect. And be perfect like Job, who loved Yahweh and hated evil. But he had some land of his own. And we read about Isaac and how the Philistines envied him during this week. But the first thing that Isaac got hold to be rich and blessed was what? Some land. And he sowed in the fields of that land. And Yahweh gave him 100-fold from the land. And he sold the products from the land, and he was able to buy great flocks of herds and great flocks, numbers of flocks, And then as a result, he needed servants to help take care of that. He had so much money, silver and gold. He had a great store of servants. Everybody was ready to work for him. See, when you serve Yahweh and pay your tithes and keep his laws, he said he'll bless you. So what's the moral of the story? Keep the laws of Yahweh. Obey Yahweh as Abraham did. And then Yahweh said in Ezekiel chapter 37 that he's going to take us out of his land and take us back home to our own land. And see, what's he going to do? Read verse 2 and see what he's going to do with us. And what he did with Abraham is what he's going to do with us when you have your own land. Read.
And I will make of thee a great nation.
I'll make you a great nation on your own land. In your own land. Not a great nation in your father's house. Not a great nation in your kinfolk's house. But in your own land. And after I make you a great nation, what else will I do to you?
And I will bless thee.
I will bless you. I will bless you. Yahweh has done everything for us he said he would do. He said, I'll make you a great nation. And it's a few of us. He said, I didn't choose you because you were great in numbers anyway. Huh? Where is that? Turn to Deuteronomy 7. Say, yeah, I didn't choose you because you were great in number anyway. I chose you because you were few. See, Yahweh, he doesn't require no huge following to make us great. No. Read.
The Lord Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people. For ye were the fewest of all people.
Then he said he would make our name small. People would recognize our name. Oh, he would make it great? I thought it would be small. How many believe that America has heard about Hebrew Israelites? But we're few in number. Now everybody's writing the name Yahweh. Then he went on to say, not only will I bless you, read verses 2 and 3 together. Read.
And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed.
The enemy is in our land because we didn't know it was our land. That's not the only reason. We didn't know Yahweh either since being in America. But all this happened to us because we broke Yahweh's law. Out of his mercy, he has raised one up from among us to resurrect us, to heal us of our leper mind, to cure us of niggeritis. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Cause us to dwell together in unity and find out how sweet and pleasant it is. Feast of Weeks is about our land, having our own land, dwelling in our own land, separating ourselves from this land, returning to our own land. The nations of the earth cannot be blessed until we return to our own land. That's Zechariah 14:16. Huh? They got to come. They have to come. There's no blessing for them until we come home. Period. Yahweh's going to enforce it so strongly that if they don't come and worship us, the king, he's going to kill them with no water, no rain. Zechariah 14:16 and 17. Read.
And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord Yahweh ben Yahweh of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
Something terrible is going to happen. There's a lot of people on earth now, but see, they have atomic bombs and they are not made for antique purposes. They are not museum pieces. These devils love to fight. They are now talking about dropping the bomb and winning. That's what America's talking about. That's why you have this peacenik movement. But then my word tells me, Yahweh told me in his word, that when they say there's peace, peace, look out. And then the end will come. First of all, he says, they say there's peace, but there's no peace. Then when they go around saying peace, peace, destruction shall come upon them suddenly. So be watching carefully. But I want us to keep our mind on Genesis 12, 1, 2, and 3. A land of our own. How does it look with the devil over in our land, fighting over our land? Well, Yahweh's so tough, we're not going to have to fight the enemy to get it back. Yahweh said he'll make them to know that he has loved us. Thank you, Yahweh. Well, I hope this little lesson tonight is a blessing to you. Feast of Weeks is